This is Top 30. Coming up, there are 3 big recalls you need to know about. The Matilda Challenge is taking over the internet, and this couple danced their way right out of the party. Welcome to the show. I'm Kristen Smith, and here are 30 things you need to know today. You know the expression, timing is everything? Well, that's key to remember if you're looking for cheap gas prices. Most gas stations raise their prices on Thursday afternoon in anticipation of people filling up before the weekend. So experts say to wait until after periods of high demand, like a weekend or a holiday, to fill up your tank. There are some other tricks to finding lower prices. You can take advantage of grocery stores and warehouse clubs that offer a reduced price if you make purchases there. In some cases, this can be as much as 10 cents a gallon, which can add up over time. And finally, more credit cards are offering increased rewards for gas purchases. If you're using a credit card to buy gas anyway, it may be worth the time to find one that has a gas rewards program. Most people own a car, and gas is a necessity, so it makes sense to take steps to save money when you can. While the FDA is so concerned that pet owners are taking their animals opioids, they're warning veterinarians to be cautious when giving prescriptions for pets. Only one opioid is currently approved for use in animals, sold under the brand name Recovera, and the FDA is suspicious that people may be using their pets to gain access to the drug. And a man who disappeared while hiking on Mount St. Helens was rescued after nearly a week. He never found water, but Matthew Mathany's mother said he found an unconventional way to survive.
The bees were after him the whole time, he said. So he killed them and ate them.
That's definitely a new one. Well, Meghan Markle's dad, Thomas, feels his relationship with his daughter is slipping away. Thomas recently told The Sun, "I took care of my mother for the last 5 years of her life. My daughter said she'd take care of me in my declining years. I'm not talking money, I'm talking about taking care of me. That's important to me." Now watch as this couple gets a little too footloose and fancy-free while dancing. It looks like they're going for a dip, but they fall through the ropes and into the Boston Harbor, literally taking a dip. Well, that's one way to make a splash. Now let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with Jerry Willis. So Jerry, what do you have for us?
Well, Kristen, Walmart reported its strongest sales growth in 10 years. This is great news for the company, but also a sign big picture of strong consumer spending and a robust U.S. economy. Overall, this earnings season has also been good for other retailers, including Macy's and Nordstrom. The FDA has approved the first generic version of the EpiPen. The new treatment expected to be cheaper than the brand name version manufactured by Mylan, which angered many customers when it increased prices by nearly 500% over the course of 7 years. NYU making tuition free. Free for all medical students. It's the first move of its kind from a major school in the U.S., and it's meant to ease student debt. Get this, nationwide. 72% of medical school graduates are in debt, with a median of almost $200 grand in loans.
All right, good to know. Thanks, Jerry. Now let's go to Danielle Knox from Fox 35 Orlando. She has what you need to know today. So Danielle, I hear people aren't using their vacation days.
Well, Kristen, we apparently used to take our time off pretty regularly, but now we do not because we're afraid of being replaced. According to Project Time Off, we used to take about 20 vacation days a year. Now that's down to just 17. The research shows that by purposely leaving those extra days on the table, we are forfeiting that time. And so basically, we're volunteering that time. More than 200 million vacation days were left on the table last year alone. All right, I don't mean to get personal here, but how's your text life? We've often heard that being glued to our phones is a relationship wrecker, but new research suggests that having the same texting habits as your partner can actually increase your happiness with each other. Researchers surveyed 205 adults between 18 and 29, and they found those who share similar texting styles were happier in their relationships. All right, I posted something on my Instagram account the other day about stores already putting out Christmas merchandise, and we are still in summer. Well, there might be something to that if you put up your Christmas decorations early. Research shows the earlier you decorate, the happier you are seen as more welcoming and personable. And that's what you need to know. And Kristen, non-decorators were seen as non-sociable. So does that mean that we got to start stringing our lights right now?
You know, my general rule of thumb is decorating the weekend after Thanksgiving. Thanks, Danielle. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Top 30. We already know that poor sleep is bad for our physical health, but a new study says it could also make us and the people around us more lonely. Joining us now to talk about this is Dr. Suzanne Gilbert-Glenz. Doctor, thank you for being here.
Hi, Kristen. Thanks for having me.
So how can sleep or lack thereof affect our social life?
Yeah, it's really interesting and a little bit disturbing, right? We know that sleep can cause immune system problems, many health issues, mood disorders, but specifically it turns out that people who have difficulty sleeping are more lonely. And furthermore, it affects the people around them. So two things happened. Two things were noted in this study. One was that people that had lack of sleep and felt lonely, actually other people around them sort of kept their distance, which of course is going to increase the loneliness.
Yeah.
And those people themselves experienced more loneliness. So it's as if it's contagious.
How can we get better sleep? I think that's the age-old question that isn't going anywhere. Are there things we can do?
Well, yeah, there's definitely things we can do. First of all, this just highlights yet another reason why sleep is so important. So there's this term called sleep hygiene, and that is giving yourself the time to get proper rest. First of all, making it a priority.
Yeah.
Screen time is such a huge issue. Turning any kind of screen off 45 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Relaxation techniques. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. I think the main thing here is to re-emphasize how important sleep truly is.
Doctor, great information. Thank you for being here. All right, here are your top 30 recall alerts. Xtava has pulled 235,000 Allure and Allure Pro 2200-watt hair dryers after 193 reports of overheating. 18 users reported burns. 2 others claimed they experienced minor electrical shocks. Affected models were sold online between October of 2014 and August of 2018. Xtava is offering free replacements. Smoothie lovers, beware. Vitamix has voluntarily recalled 105,000 blending containers after 11 reports of lacerations from exposed blades. The recall applies to 20-ounce blending cups and 8-ounce bowls made between April 2017 and March 2018. A green or orange dot indicates your model's been repaired, but if it hasn't, Vitamix will send a free repair kit. And after one of their suppliers failed an FDA inspection, Westminster Pharmaceuticals is recalling a thyroid medication as a precaution. Affected tablets include the synthetic hormones on your screen. Many take the tablets for serious conditions, so Westminster suggests continuing the medication until doctors prescribe a replacement. For more on these recalls, visit the Top 30 Facebook page. Well, airlines aren't the only companies tightening rules about traveling with animals. Royal Caribbean has banned emotional support animals from all of its cruises. Support animals on reservations booked before July 30th will still be allowed to sail, but the animals can no longer be booked on new reservations. The ban doesn't apply to service animals, like a seeing eye dog. Those animals are professionally trained to perform tasks for a person with a disability. Royal Caribbean pointed out support animals aren't recognized by the Americans with Disabilities Act. Emotional support animals usually aren't trained by professionals and are sometimes considered pets, but they are allowed to fly for free if they meet certain standards. That's one reason they've become controversial when it comes to travel. Several airlines like Delta, United, and Southwest have started restricting the support animals allowed on their planes. American Airlines says the number of support animals on its planes jumped 40% in a single year. Royal Caribbean says the new rule was passed to help all of its guests enjoy their vacation. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's go to Andrea Robinson from Fox 10 Phoenix. She has this week's life hacks. So Andrea, what do you have for us?
Well, hey, Kristen, this week's life hack, we start with a hair hack, especially for all of us ladies that are vying for that shiny hair. You can do it naturally. Apple cider vinegar, yet again, to the rescue. Equal parts apple cider vinegar with water, mix it, put it on your hair and let it sit for a little while, and then wash it out and do it a couple of times, and then you should have shiny hair just like that. Next up, cleaning your microwave an easy, no-fuss way. Simply take a bowl of water, fill it about 3/4 of the way full, 3 tablespoons of baking soda, put a toothpick inside the bowl, it'll keep it from bubbling over, and then stick it in the microwave, put it on high for about 1 minute or 2 minutes, and that will naturally steam the microwave, and you can wipe it clean after. And lastly, a trick to keeping bananas fresher longer. Simply take some plastic wrap when you get home from the grocery store and wrap the tops of them. That will keep them fresher longer. Kristen, those are your life hacks for this week. Back to you.
Love that banana trick. Thanks, Andrea. Well, there's a new internet challenge in town, but unlike the dangerous Zoom and Tide Pod challenges, the only thing being suffered now is nostalgia. The Matilda challenge draws inspiration from the 1996 movie based on the Roald Dahl classic, namely the scene where the book-loving title character embraces her telekinetic powers. People online are paying homage by posting videos showing their own telekinetic abilities. With friends hidden from view, some better than others, participants point to items in the room, making it appear as if they're controlling them with their minds. Objects bounce, doors swing, and participants dance as Little Bitty Pretty One by Thurston Harris plays in the background. While it's unclear why Matilda is having a moment 22 years after its release, some of the videos have already garnered millions of views, and one very big fan, Mara Wilson, who played Matilda, tweeted, "I love these." Well, Mara, so do we. In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 35 Orlando, the Florida Aviation Academy of Kissimmee is the only school in the country that's set inside an active airport. The school prepares high schoolers to work in the aviation industry, and the 130 students take part in hands-on STEM classes. They'll graduate with a high school diploma, a license to fly a drone, and a certification at least one of 4 aviation fields. In our second story from Fox 5 New York, for kids with sunlight allergies, summer vacation means staying indoors. They can't spend any time outside during the day. Even a few seconds of sun exposure can cause immense pain. At worst, they could develop life-threatening cancer. But that's where Camp Sundown comes in. It's a summer camp in Craryville, New York that kicks off at 10:30 at night when most other kids are fast asleep. Campers get to play sports, frisbee, and have sing-alongs, just like other kids. And in our final story from Fox 2 Detroit, Leader Dogs for the Blind is a guide dog training school in Michigan. Their dogs go through rigorous training so that one day they can be guide dogs for a blind person. Dog lovers Barb Price and Dan Silverman volunteered to become a breeding host family for the organization. They took in Maeve, a beautiful yellow lab who soon gave birth to 9 puppies. Barb and Dan will raise the puppies until they are 7 weeks old. Then they'll go back to Leader Dogs to start their training. And after Maeve has 4 litters of puppies, she'll retire and be Barb and Dan's pet to keep. Welcome back to Top 30. A weed-killing chemical that may be linked to cancer was found in some popular breakfast foods and cereals. Those are the results of a new study done by a nonprofit organization called the Environmental Working Group. Researchers discovered trace amounts of a herbicide called glyphosate in some foods and cereals. The World Health Organization says glyphosate is a probable carcinogen, and there is not much information regarding its impact on children. 31 out of 45 products tested had higher levels than what some scientists consider safe for kids. Some of these products include Cheerios, Quaker old-fashioned oats, and Back to Nature classic granola. General Mills released a statement saying, "Our products are safe and without question they meet regulatory safety levels. The EPA has researched this issue and has set rules that we follow." Quaker's statement read in part, "Any levels of glyphosate that may remain are significantly below any limits of the safety standards set by the EPA and the European Commission as safe for human consumption." Log on to the Top 30 Facebook page to see the full report and what other food items were tested, as well as how they scored. If you don't like your office, now you can have one made just for you. Room is a startup that sells just that. Their product is a portable, private, and powered space designed to set you apart from your colleagues, literally. The Room One starts at $3,495. It might sound crazy, but Room has high-profile clients that would disagree, including NASA, Nike, and JP Morgan. The idea is part of a growing backlash against offices with open floor plans. A Harvard study found the layout leads to a 72% drop in face-to-face interaction between coworkers. Email use goes up, productivity goes down. Room aims to give workers a place to go when they need quiet and privacy. Room One has a built-in table, power outlet, and light. It's built from over 1,000 recycled plastic bottles that helps make it soundproof. It also has another important feature, ventilation. An early prototype built without airflow was warm enough to earn a different name, the Sweatbox. In its first year, Room will make $10 million in sales. Well, if you want to travel internationally, a good place to start might be somewhere that already speaks English. And Elizabeth Stanton has the details on a classic city we've all heard of right across the pond. Hi, Liz.
That's right, Kristen. If you're like me, you fall in love with London before you even step off the plane. There's just something about the city that is captivating. For some, the allure is royal, with Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, and the Tower of London topping the itinerary. Or maybe it's the rich history of classic theater with Shakespeare's Globe, and Beatles fans will love a visit to Abbey Road. For others, it's as simple as a good old-fashioned English pub, a gorgeous garden, or an outdoor market. London has it all. There are plenty of fun ways to see the city too. A ride on a double-decker red bus is always an option. You can also hail a cabbie or hop on the tube. And for a great overview, take to the skies with a ride on the London Eye. The heart of London is amazing but busy, so definitely take a day trip into the countryside too. Back to you, Kristen.
Well, sounds like you can't go wrong with London. Thanks, Liz. Los Angeles will be installing body scanners in their subways. That'll make LA the first city to screen passengers for weapons and explosives in a mass transit system aside from airports. Alex Wiggins of LA's Transport Authority says, "We're looking specifically for weapons that have the ability to cause a mass casualty event. We're looking for explosive vests. We're looking for assault rifles. We're not necessarily looking for smaller weapons that don't have the ability to inflict mass casualties." Wiggins said they also hope to get mobile body scanners that can move around and focus in on specific people and angles. The body scanning machines can detect suspicious items from 30 feet away and can scan more than 2,000 passengers per hour. They're expected to roll out into subways across Los Angeles next month. More Top 30 after this. Welcome back to Top 30. The key to beating cancer may lie in elephants. Larger animals have higher cell counts, so logic holds they're at a higher risk of one of those cells turning cancerous. Curiously, despite size, some 20% of humans die from cancer. Less than 5% of elephants do. A team of geneticists went searching for an explanation, and one pseudogene stood out: leukemia inhibitory factor 6. Elephants were the only animal tested that had duplicate LIF6 genes that functioned. It had died in almost all others. When researchers induced cell stress that would have led to cancer in most animals, a protein woke the so-called zombie gene, which then killed any threats to the elephant DNA. The study's author sees potential for the groundbreaking discovery to treat humans. If we understand the function of this gene, maybe we'll be able to develop drugs that mimic those functions. Successful human application is still years away, but this research is promising. Well, another mega band is heading to Vegas to launch a residency there. Aerosmith will be the latest band to take on Sin City. The Grammy-winning group will kick off their Deuces Are Wild tour on April 6th at the MGM. They'll perform 18 shows through July, featuring famous songs like Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion, and Love in an Elevator. Tickets go on sale August 24th and are priced between $75 and $750. Aerosmith formed in 1970, and they've sold more than 150 million records worldwide. All right, here's a notable stat. 3.7 million homes are broken into every year. To bring that down, Family Handyman magazine has revealed the mistakes homeowners make that leave them vulnerable to burglars. Break down packages before throwing them out. Visible boxes reveal to thieves the big screen TV or expensive shoes you bought. If you're traveling, wait until you're back before posting on social media. Don't do it while you're on vacation, as 40% of people do. It's not just social media. Burglars scour obituaries too. So have someone watch the house during funerals. And plants can be a major tell. Overgrown grass or dying flowers may mean nobody's home. An extravagant garden could preview what's inside. If you want to protect yourself, one security expert recommends thinking like a thief, hardening security to the point a burglar would look at your home and simply move on. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. A wage gap still exists between men and women. In fact, women in Canada earn an average of 74 cents on the dollar compared to men. It gets worse. New research out of Canada found that businesses owned by women generated an annual average of $68,000 less than men who own similar businesses. That's a mind-blowing 58% wage gap. Smaller businesses run online showed a slightly lower gap at 44%. The study suggests gaining access to capital could be a costly barrier for women that's contributing to these gaps. Professor Becky Ruber says there is evidence that some stereotypes play up in that, and women may have more difficulty getting high-value investment. Gender equality in the workplace has seen increased exposure this year, but it's clear there's still a long way to go. Thanks for watching. You can catch up on past episodes of Top 30 now on Hulu. You can also download the Top 30 mobile app and visit our website. We want to hear from you, so connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe to @Top30TV for interviews and exclusive web content. We'll see you next time on Top 30.